Eating healthy is expensive. This is a common perception which holds many people back when they think about eating healthy. How many times have you stepped in a grocery store and were shocked by how much the prices of fruits and veggies have skyrocketed? Or looked at the healthy options section and assumed that everything in there is overpriced? While these are true, what we need to know is that eating healthy is very much doable even on a tight budget. It just takes a few tweaks here and there that we'll have to do to lower our overall food spending, and that's what we'll talk about today. I'll share 8 highly effective ways to eat good, nourishing food without worrying about the splurge. And at the end of this video, I'll do a rough breakdown on how these can reduce your food spending by around 20%, so do stick around for that. The first thing that we all need to do is to reframe our mindset. Instead of thinking that eating healthy is expensive, reframe it to eating healthy is a good investment. If you think that eating healthy is expensive, you also have to remember that eating unhealthy can end up becoming more expensive in the future. A poor diet can come from eating fast food or heavily processed food regularly because they're cheaper and more convenient. Yes, they're cheap, but the excess sodium, sugar, or saturated fat that they contain can take a toll on your health and even your quality of life when added up over time. And that's a much bigger price to pay. Choosing the healthier option again and again can be hard, but not nearly as hard as living in a body that's not healthy and holding you back. Your health is one of the best investments you can make on yourself, because good health lets you live your life with good energy day by day. We also need to understand that eating healthy is directly linked to keeping things simple and therefore affordable. Eating in a restaurant or buying coffee in a coffee shop is definitely more expensive than cooking a simple whole food meal at home, right? So with this kind of mindset, I personally don't think that having a healthy, balanced diet is expensive. Just let go of the trendy wellness supplements and pricey protein bars and focus on the basics. Simple works every time. Then we need to have a basic understanding of what is expensive and what is affordable. There are definitely healthy foods that are both budget-friendly and a bit of a splurge, and it'll help to know what these are when you make choices around what you're going to eat in the next few days. For proteins, the more affordable options would be eggs, tofu, chicken, and canned proteins like tuna, sardines, beans, chickpeas, lentils. The pricier proteins would be salmon, lean beef, turkey, shrimp, crab, and of course lobster. For veggies, the affordable ones would be like cabbage, carrots, squash, spinach, eggplant, and expensive veggies are asparagus, kale, and specialty mushrooms like shiitake and portobello. Mushroom is a fungus, but can be classified as a veggie when cooking. Fruits are known to be more expensive now, but we have cheaper options like bananas, apples, papaya, watermelon, pineapple, and mangoes when they're in season. The pricier fruits would be the fresh berries, cherries, grapes, and avocado when it's not in season. So by knowing this, if you're on a tight budget, you can opt for the produce that are on the cheaper side more regularly, then maybe decide to splurge on the pricier ones on rare occasions. You can also mix main proteins with cheaper proteins in your meals. For example, a smaller portion of chicken paired with some chickpeas or eggs, so you still get enough protein and volume in your meal at an overall lower price. Just knowing about the healthy expensive food versus the healthy cheaper food can help you be more aware that, hey, not all healthy food is expensive, and I can definitely work around them to fit my budget. It will also really help to include frozen and canned food in your diet. These are cheaper foods that can still be nutritious and part of a balanced meal. Frozen mixed veggies and berries like blueberries and strawberries are prime examples. They are definitely cheaper than fresh ones, and they still have their nutrients intact as they were flash frozen when they were at their peak ripeness. Canned tuna, sardines, beans, lentils, chickpeas are affordable and good quality protein sources. Just choose the ones that are in brine instead of oil. Canned corn, green beans, and mushrooms are also good additions. You just need to drain them out and rinse and dry them to lessen the sodium content. You can literally make a full meal with canned food. Just throw together canned tuna, chickpeas, tomatoes, green beans, and toss them in some olive oil, lemon, seasoning, and herbs, and you have a Mediterranean-inspired tuna salad. I'm not saying that you should eat canned food every day, but it's a nice option to have on days when you want the most convenient meal possible that's also low cost and balanced. The next tip is to write down your grocery list and stick to it. I know this sounds really basic, but it's one of the most effective ways to stick to whatever food budget you have. It's very common for people to decide to drop by the grocery on a whim without a list and put random things in their cart without really having a specific plan for them. When that happens, there's a likely chance that these things will end up spoiling at home after days of being untouched. So before going to the grocery, have a list ready. Make sure that you'll actually use these ingredients within the week if you're not going to freeze them, and stick to the list to avoid having any food go to waste. But before you make the list, do a quick sweep of your fridge and pantry to see what you still have. Maybe you still have rice, pasta, cooking oil, or other long-lasting items like sauces or seasonings. Then you can build your grocery list from there. This is a really simple way to put it together. Think of which 5 proteins, 5 veggies, 5 fruits, whole carbs, and good fats you could have for the week. So just an example. If we're going with the more affordable options that I mentioned earlier, proteins could include chicken, eggs, tofu, canned tuna, and beans. Fruits could be bananas, apples, oranges, papaya, and pineapples. This week's veggies could be cabbage, carrots, squash, spinach, and eggplant. Whole carbs could be whole wheat bread and sweet potatoes since you still have rice and pasta at home. Healthy fats could be milk, cheese, and Greek yogurt. Others pertain to anything else that you might have run out of, like dishwashing liquid or trash bags. And you can make a lot of good dishes with these ingredients, plus the seasonings that you already have at home. Aside from the weekly groceries, you can also save a lot of money buying the long-lasting items in bulk. These are the ingredients that you use regularly and that have a long shelf life. For me, it's usually rolled oats, 1-ingredient peanut butter, a variety of nuts and seeds, rice, and whole wheat pasta. I just bulk buy them once, which comes out cheaper than buying them in small quantities, and I don't need to worry about restocking them for the next few months. And these pantry staples can really bring dishes together. I personally put peanut butter on almost everything, both sweet and savory meals. Plus, you can put nuts and seeds on salads, oatmeal, yogurt bowls, pad thai, and many other dishes to make them more interesting and balanced. So if you can bulk buy and stock up on these for the long term, it'll be very convenient and cost-effective. Next, if you have the time, explore making food from scratch. Now, I completely understand why people would buy store-bought sauces or prepackaged snacks. They're convenient and they save a lot of time and energy versus making them yourself. I get it. But they can also be expensive because of course convenience comes with a price. These are the likes of store-bought pesto, hummus, salad dressings, protein bars. So if you really want to reduce your spending, consider making something yourself. These foods are surprisingly easy to make with just a few ingredients and no preservatives, so if you have the time and energy, you can look up a recipe and give it a shot. It can also be very rewarding to make things from scratch once in a while, especially if they turn out great. And if they don't, that's normal and part of experimentation. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. Every effort is worth it. It's not failure if you take away something from it. Next, use your freezer. If you cook a meal which ends up having leftovers and you don't have plans of eating it in the next few days, put it in a container, label it, and store it in the freezer. Freeze excess veggies, meats, and cooked meals to prolong their lifespan. Don't wait for them to spoil in the fridge only to throw them out. In a few weeks' time, you can go back to that frozen meal, reheat it, and save money by not going out and buying more food for that day. And finally, do a weekender fridge sweep. It's the end of the week and your fridge has a few odds and ends, leftover veggies, soon to expire ingredients. Don't toss them out or ignore them. Go make something from them. Chop everything up, put them in a pan with some cooking oil, stir fry, and season them. Or ask ChatGPT what meal you can put together with what you have. You'll be surprised by how random leftovers can come together nicely into a solid meal. Just finish off whatever you have before you buy more food. That way, more money is saved. And those were 8 effective ways to save money while eating healthy. Now, I mentioned that doing these things can potentially reduce your food spending by around 20%. I'll give an example of how this might work in rough numbers, just to give you an idea, not to overanalyze. Let's say that you spend around 20,000 pesos per month on food split between restaurants and groceries. If you eat out, let's say 4 times a week at an average of 500 pesos per meal, making it 8,000 pesos per month, cutting back to twice a week, making it 4,000 pesos per month, and cooking at home instead for around 200 pesos per meal, could save you around 2,400 pesos per month. Swapping some frozen veggies, frozen berries, and meats for some frozen mixed veggies, frozen berries, and Canned proteins could save you around 500 pesos per month. Buying long-lasting staples like rice, pasta, oats, peanut butter, cooking oil in bulk rather than small packs could save around 300 pesos per month. If you regularly eat pricey protein bars or snacks, making your own at home could save around 500 pesos per month. And if you subconsciously throw away around 1,000 pesos worth of uneaten food monthly, like spoiled leftovers or veggies, being more mindful, freezing excess food, and using up everything in your fridge could turn that 1,000 pesos into savings. So if you add up those savings, that's roughly 4,700 pesos, just over 20% of your initial food spending. Not bad, even if you only manage to apply a few of these. Of course, actual savings will vary depending on your lifestyle and food choices, but by working on these gradually, you'll definitely be able to cut down on spending while keeping yourself well-fed and nourished. Hope you enjoyed this video and took away some value from it. If so, I'd love for you to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to this channel for more nutrition, wellness, and motivation. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.